Here is America signing an agreement on behalf of a madman. Please go to Uganda. Let us manage your madness from Uganda. You're not signing with the madman, you're signing with America. America, who rejected him, or who is now ejecting him after staying there for 20 years, now they're saying we don't want you here because there is no value addition. America is not exporting Africans who are adding value in America, like Elon Musk and so on. No, they are targeting particular people whom they have destroyed with their cocaine and everything, madness, raping women and so on. Now those are the people they are getting rid of. Go back to Africa. And where do you go back if you don't have a home? Let us talk to Uganda. Let them allow you. Tomorrow, the level of criminality in Uganda is going to go extremely high, courtesy of these people. Because some of these people who are coming here, you might simply look at them as human beings, but these are highly trained criminals.
Now I want to.
You are going to find those people tomorrow integrated in society, and
yes,
you don't know.
That's the problem.
And let me tell you that as you come. Have you seen the man who slaughtered 4 children in Gabon?
Yes.
Do you know his history? He was in America. He came from America.
Those are the people.
Yes.
He was in America.
He was in America.
Yes. He was in America for 20 years.
That man who slaughtered.
No wonder.
Yes, he was in America for 20 years.
He had to be an American.
Now, Professor, those are the kinds of people that are brought
There
here.
is a point.
Now imagine you having 50
of
them.
Exactly. So you have a point.
Free your mind now. Be part of the People's Pan-African Parliament. The Pan-African Pyramid Debate with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusabe.
Well, this is the Pan-African Pyramid Weekly Round Table, or Roundup, call it, with the speaker, Emperor Andrew Irumba Katusabe. Welcome to the show, my elder brothers, my elder comrades. Professor Alenyo George William. Professor Alenyo George William is an international rights lawyer. He is a former legal assistant to the former Chief Justice and Attorney General of Uganda, Justice Bat Katureba, retired. Welcome, Professor.
Thank you.
Comrade Daniel Garama Karuchiko is also a civil rights lawyer. He is the chairman of Pan-African Movement Uganda chapter. And both of these gentlemen are recipients of the Pan-African Pyramid Global Awards, the class of 2025. And I'm glad also to remind you that this year's edition of the Pan-African Pyramid Global Awards is scheduled for 29th of August 2026 at Speak Resort Munyonyo. Speak Resort Munyonyo, I repeat, 29th of August 2026. Comrade Daniel Garama Karuchiko, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Brother Irumba, and salutations to all our esteemed viewers. In Kampala, it has been a wave of flu and a bit of cough. So if you detect that my voice is a little bit
you are a victim.
slow, I am just graduating from the bound of flu and cough, but it's a little bit better now. I take this opportunity to thank you, Comrade Bloom. It has been a while. When were we last year? Probably 2 weeks back. No, two. It can't be 3. But I know you have been doing a great job. You know, when we don't take opportunity to thank you, we who are part and parcel of this system, it does not augur well.
Thank you so much, my elders. Professor Alenyo, let's go through the week. What took your attention in the Pan-African lens throughout the world? In a minute or two, apart from the main topic that we're going to discuss.
Well, I like what Communist President of Mali said, or bluntly this time, that Africans should forget democracy. This is the point we have been making. If democracy means Western democracy, we should really forget it and have an African or African way of electing our leaders?
I think to put context to it, even Traore has said it.
Yeah. No, Burkina Faso. I meant
Burkina Faso.
Yes, I meant Traore.
Yes.
Yes. I meant Traore.
You see, Professor, the white man crafted his mode of democracy. His mode, not our mode. What he calls democracy. He crafted it and sold it to us.
Exactly.
But when you follow that democracy, it actually feeds them, not us. So when he says, forget about democracy, he's talking about that one, that Western world democracy. Not the real democracy that we Africans embrace. Africans have their own democracy. First of all, we were led on chiefdoms, monarchs. That is our democracy. Even up to now, since they brought their own democracy, up to now, Professor Alenyo, I'm sure, which king is in your land?
We have a controversy there. Where there is the king of Vietnam.
But I'm sure you pay more allegiance to your king in the village. And you pay more allegiance to the king of Toro. Buganda kingdom pays more allegiance to the Kawaka of Buganda. That's already leadership.
Yes.
That's leadership.
Yes.
Bunyoro Kitara, Toro. Actually, at that time it was, Bunyoro Kitara was even cutting across Congo.
Yes. And you are now going to the topic of today.
Yes, it was cutting.
issue.
So it means that the leaders
Yes.
were not generally leaders in these artificial borders
Artificial borders. Artificial
of,
states.
by the Western world,
Yes.
artificial states.
Yes.
They were leaders of groups of people.
Groups, civilizations.
Yes.
Entire
Very good.
empires.
I hear there is this king of Songora. One time I was discussing with him, Dan
Yes.
Baram. No, Dan Kashagama. Not
Kashagama.
Baram. This one is not the king. I was elevating him, he was starting to say.
Karushiko was smiling. Karushiko was smiling.
I'm a king in my own right.
You were starting to smile.
I was not going to refuse because I'm saying maybe I'm getting explanation of Karushiko.
Kashagama, the king of Songora.
Yes.
There lived an empire called, what was it called?
The one of where?
The one which was coming from Songora up to Congo, it cuts across to Ethiopia. This one that was being led by a woman, Queen Sheba.
Oh.
I don't know if they heard about that.
Yes.
I heard about
It
that.
was stretching from Busongora. That's very interesting.
That the roots are from here, the roots.
It's
Kashagama was explaining to me.
Mm.
They were Songora. They were Songora people. That all of us are actually products of us, only that we don't know the history. That's what he was saying. That even the Queen Sheba, her ancestral kingdom was from here, Songora. Well, we need to meet him.
We need to meet him.
Very, very
But
informal.
I don't dispute him even a little. Why? I'm a Luo, so I also trace my connections via the Luo. Now, when you look at, there is a king, Olimi. If you look at the...
Olimi Kaboy.
No, Olimi, the original Olimi.
Yeah.
The one after whom that
Oh, you remember the fourth?
eclipse is made.
Yeah,
Biharwe in Mbarara.
Yeah.
Yes, that Biharwe eclipse is made after King Olimi. Now, that King Olimi, if you look at him, his physical structure, is just like a Tutsi, very tall. And that Olimi ended up being a king in Ethiopia among the Anuak people. There is yes, Anuak. There is a group of Luo called Anuak in the Western Ethiopia. So his story, I can agree, it's not very far off from the truth. You see, we are one people.
Yes.
We are really one people.
So my elder,
The entire Africa,
The entire
if I may interject, the entire Africa is, and His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has always labored to explain this, is linguistically identified and divided into 4 main sub
Ethnic groups.
groups, if you like.
Yes.
And therefore, you can largely see that we are actually one and the same, in the sense that when you go to Zaire, Zambia, Malawi, Uganda, Burundi, Rwanda, there is this element of the Bantu kind of speaking.
Yes.
Then when you go to some parts again of Ethiopia, then Djibouti, Somalia, parts of Uganda, a little bit of Uganda also, are they called the Nile? Something,
Yeah.
Hamites. You know, these who are like Arab kind of, you know, so those 4 main groupings form the entire Africa, and probably there is even a spillover in a little bit of beyond Africa as a continent. So, largely speaking, I was just adding to pushing your point here that if it were not for the colonialism that came with all its antecedents, would and if we can try as much as humanly possible, like we are doing, this is part of rediscovering our roots. The debate that we are different as African people cannot be more timely and important than it is now. So I want to render that.
So the point why I brought that is that you can see, Professor, that Africa had leadership. A leadership that even went beyond the artificial border. That a Queen Sheba once ruled from here up to Ethiopia. This was the Songora king. Do you know that he ruled up to Rwanda?
Yes.
Rwanda.
Which is happening
Which
even
is happening
now.
now.
Because when you look at the Omukuka has got more followers in Kenya than he has in Uganda.
Yes.
When you look at
the Musimba Brands rule. The Musimba Brands rule. Most of the Kongo are in Congo. And they pay allegiance to him. So, to buttress the point, Professor Alenyo, when Traore was saying, forget about democracy, he was meaning that stupid democracy of the Western world, which was brought to actually keep us under their wraps. They are the ones who have the weighing scale to tell you, you're not becoming a dictator. You are now becoming, you get it? They're the ones who tell us. Meanwhile, for them, nobody weighs their level of democracy or dictatorship. Give an example of Trump, what is happening right now. If the same template of democracy is the one that they gave us and the one that they're using, would Trump be doing what he's doing? Because he's doing whatever he wants at his will.
There is virtual.
In his country and outside his country.
It is even worse outside. You see the point.
He's doing whatever he wants in his country
Speaker.
and outside his country.
Speaker.
If any other African leader did that to invade another country, they would be the first one to tell you, you are a dictator. You're invading other countries. Yes. Sovereignty.
Comrade Irumba, unless you want us to stand listening to the topic for today, let me, because you see, this is extremely provocative.
Yes.
I can assure you, you know as much as I do, and I want to believe our audience out there are also well equipped with this information, save for the weekend historians and those who have got a selective mind and they apply it selectively, that the tenets upon which the Western democracy is built, first of all, is bad, false, and most importantly, that the application of the Western democracy, even to themselves itself, is problematic, and that if anybody has never exposed the Western democracy, as hypocritical, then Trump, thanks be to the winds that brought Trump, Trump has gloriously brought to the fore the hypocritic nature and the application of the same of the Western democracy, to the extent that anybody else who doubted then has seen for himself, including the extreme doubting Thomases, that the Western democracy is nothing but hollow.
Good. Now, even before we leave that Trump, you've been hearing his warnings on Iran. What did you make of his warnings? Iran, last week he was telling us he had decimated Iran. And he told us that he had made a deal, a good deal. Now, yesterday, he was saying, I'm giving you the last 48 hours. I'm going to destroy you. But America has lost so far, I think, 3
Big
planes.
planes, yes.
Big planes.
The big
Yes.
war.
And Comrade Irumba,
With
information
information
to you.
You know, I inquired how much one plane is. It is 110 million US dollars.
110.
Yes, million US dollars. That means one plane is 370 billion Uganda shillings.
370 billion.
Yes, Uganda shillings.
So times 3.
Yes, trillion.
But that is
Shillings in a
even
day.
just manufacturing.
Yes, that's
But
manufacturing,
the,
maintaining.
the most expensive part of the, is it B2 or B1?
That's
Whatever the
F-35.
name. The worst part is maintenance. Because this aircraft, the information reaching our table is that it is a fighter and it is designed to not to be detected by radar. Now, on the aircraft itself, they have got certain elements or what we would call the component on it which reflect away the radar detecting mechanism. And that must continuously be maintained. And the plane, the 2 planes so far that have been shot, I think 1 or 2 of them, because they are more than actually 3, but 2 of them that Iranian Revolutionary Guard have shot down is in obscene figures, first of all to manufacture, but most importantly, costs obscene figures to maintain the same. Now, there are these other planes that were sent for rescue mission. The rescue mission itself costs United States of America defense or their army, it cost them extra 3 planes because they lost them. Why did they lose them? They lost them because they claim that they are the ones who destroyed. You see, America, through their old tired narrative, which is now being debunked. It is being debunked because they are no longer the only source of information. We now have marked sources of information that we can no longer be deceived. If they have been hit, and this goes back to what you are saying, the inconsistency. What United States of America has of late, and particularly the Donald Trump Jr. has done, and it should be thanked for. Part of it is that he is consistently inconsistent. and that is he is extremely consistently inconsistent and terribly incoherent in his approach to issues and the way he gives them to the rest of the public. Just about 2 days ago, if not yesterday, about I think 2 days ago, when he lost that aircraft, and then they captured one of the operators of the plane, and then he lost an extra 2 of them when they were going to rescue the equipment operator. You know, it's operated by 2. And he knew. You could see a defeated mind. It's, you know, a dog that is hit most is the one that barks most. When you get a stone out of a pack of dogs, the one you hit is the one that is going most noise. So the language that the president used, I'm using some of these as just examples. So I would not expect that really anybody should, especially in the academic world, should not take it against me. There is no better way of explaining this than using the example of a dog.
You're using them metaphorically.
Yes, metaphorically speaking, that is how some of these points can be picked. So therefore, when you look at how he responded, even CNN and all major media houses, as we call it, the Al Jazeera, CNN, Sky News, BBC, Fox News, all of them could not get his, but it was on his true social media handle, and he was using words like they advised us as parents that please make sure that the children do not watch this. You know, get the fucking hair out of the whole president of a top democracy, you can imagine. And he says that he's going to now start targeting, when have they not started targeting them? He's going to start targeting bridges, he's going to start roads and water points.
And plants.
And yes, and electricity. But they have been doing it to the extent that they completely decimated the entire Gaza, the entire Gaza Strip.
Me, I wonder when Trump is still crying that Iran should open up the Strait of Hormuz. Yet he says he dismantled them. A person who dismantled
Strait of Hormuz is
where
open.
do I get the capacity to block you?
The Strait of Hormuz, let me tell you, Comrade Degumba, the Strait of Hormuz is open. It is only closed to the arrogant America and her allies.
Yes.
The rest of the people, including France, just 3 days ago, they had one of their largest ships passing through.
You see, the point I was raising is this. You are telling the world that you have disempowered, dismantled, dismantled.
That's over 60%
Now,
of the
you
capacity.
come back and say, although Professor Alenyo is dead, but the man has blocked me from passing here. But how? Alenyo is dead, you have killed him.
But
now you're saying you want permission from Alenyo to pass in his
But
compound.
we have told you
How?
one of the things that President Trump is very good at is being extremely incoherent and inconsistently, persistently and consistently inconsistent. So therefore, that he says one thing and another. When he was going into Iran, he said that it was on the prompting of Israel. Shortly thereafter, he said they had intelligence reports that actually the Iranian forces were targeting to take out Trump. From there, he said he is only there for a short period of less than 1 week, if not 3 days. After that, he said that he is now entering into negotiation, well knowing that he actually started attacking when they were in the middle of negotiations. From there, he again went against his word and said, no, look here, this is actually the truth. The truth is that we are going to be very precise, and less than 2 weeks we shall be out of that country, and we are going to put a new regime. And that whoever is going to become the Ayatollah must be with my approval. They have an Ayatollah, there is no approval from America. There are so many other things that have happened, including that we cannot be seen to be taking out civilian installations, even when we have a background that whatever Israel does it with the backing of America. They have completely erased Gaza because Gaza does not have a fighting force. In Iran, they have found a fellow man and they are having a fight. What is going finally to happen? And I think the rest of the Middle East countries have really come to realize, if they never realized it before, that they are dealing with a partner who is not only deceptive, but he is also undependable, completely undependable, to the extent that the leader of Spain correctly described him and dissociated himself from all the activities of Trump. Maybe to end by telling you that there is it G7 or G20, which is taking place by next year in Paris, and because Ramaphosa's country took Israel to ICJ, and there is their criminal summons indictment on Netanyahu and the Minister of War. Trump has made it a point that they do not invite Ramaphosa to attend that. Instead, he says you better invite Kenya. And now our president of Kenya is the one who is going in the place of Ramaphosa. He threatened that if you invite Ramaphosa, I will make it a point for me not to come. And now the ambassador of France grudgingly has taken a disinvitation to the presidency in Pretoria. Is it Pretoria? Where the president sits and says, please, you don't come. Now, that shows you the democratic credentials of the United States of America are extremely wanting. That is one. Two, that we still have countries that have failed terribly on the international scene in as far as negotiations are concerned. We have got a problem where, diplomatically speaking, some countries, like America being one of the good example, cannot hold, there is what we call soft power. That is even not soft power. China is good at soft power. America is consistently exposing her naked self to the rest of the world, that if there were any remaining doubting Thomases about the hypocrisy and the non-starting capabilities, now we are able to see that we have been lied to for so far too long, and that it is time now to start redirecting our energies to the correct efforts.
Professor Alenyo, on the Iran issue, with Israel and America.
Well, I look at this thing from another angle. I look at it as the end of the American era. The collapsing of leadership in America is a sign of the collapsing of the economy. But American economy is dead. They're just trying to keep alive and to keep afloat. These are the times the Bible talks of when leadership will fail, total failure of leadership. The president opens his mouth, he talks in a way that you can't believe this is an American president talking. You can't believe it. The words that come out.
He's an embodiment of embarrassment.
Exactly. And now, for me, if I were at governmental level, I think I would even stop dealing with America until such a time when they correct their leadership. That's why I saw your program the other day. You are wondering, countries in Africa that continue to sign memorandums of understanding with the lunatic, you sign a memorandum that you will accept deported Africans, memorandum of understanding with America. At this moment, what is that? What is that? What are African countries doing? Signing a memorandum with such an archaic leader. Why? This is hypocrisy. This is hypocrisy. You say even African children should not go there to seek solutions from America, but you are signing memorandums with this lunatic. I wouldn't. If I were an African president, I wouldn't waste my time signing anything with Trump. Just fold our hands and see where this lunacy ends.
For me, Professor, my information is that the next president of America, who certainly will not be a Republican, will have to spend the better part of his 100 days or 1 year at most correcting all the wrongs that Donald J. Trump has done. That's the first thing. Then two, and most importantly, I think that the war of aggression, the United States of America plus Israel's war of aggression in Iran, has greatly opened our eyes even much more than it had done. To those that have not previously taken time to understand and appreciate that the Western capitals headed by America, and NATO as a force is nothing but an imperial hegemony whose duty from when it was started up to now has been to harass the rest of the, especially for us in the south, to harass us and beat us into subjugation for proper exploitation. And that it is high time now when South-to-South cooperation should be enhanced and we see who our true friends are, such that we can now greatly open and direct our energies to cooperating and advancing our interests for purposes of making the next generation a happier generation.
Very good. Thank you so much. Comrades, Uganda, just last week, on Thursday, it came to be known that we signed an agreement, a cooperation agreement, with the United States of America to import here people, human beings, that America doesn't want in its territory. These are people who are not businessmen, upright people that would bring to your community and they add value in terms of production and so on. These are rejects of America. Some of them cocaine dealers, some of them may be rapists, some of them, sick from all of mental cases. America is ejecting from there, bringing down to Africa. Uganda has already received 8 of such people. They landed here, 8. No, they are 8. That's what officially they have said.
So where are they?
8 and then 12. They came already.
Where are they?
8 came and then 12.
Where are they?
Where
Where are they
about.
being?
They are up and about.
I hope not integrated in our community.
That's the issue now. DRC Congo is also receiving. I hear Rwanda also saying.
Rwanda had signed with the UK,
UK.
and that agreement fell apart when they got a new prime minister. Then there was a suit against the government, which more or less overturned there. And Rwanda took the UK government to court to have the UK pay to have them pay for having jumped out of a contract where Rwanda had spent money, and correctly so.
Then they also signed now in USA.
Rwanda.
Yes, this is a new one.
There are many African countries that have
Eswatini
signed.
even received already. So, gentlemen,
Eswatini is highly controversial. You remember it is the only country on the African continent, I think, that is recognizing the sovereignty of the sovereignty, first of all, of the other, the Rama, the Rama, the one of
They are Lama.
the Rama of China.
Of China.
Of China. For them, they think they have agreed that he's an independent president.
Tibet.
And then they have also recognized Taiwan. It's the only African country that recognizes Taiwan.
Taiwan and Tibet.
So you can see that high level controversy with your Swatini people.
So, I want to begin with you, comrade Kanchiko. What did you make of this? I think because this the reoccurrence of the neo-colonialism.
Yes.
Because, Professor, if you were sending me businessmen and women in Mekano to come and help me on the agreement, I was in Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso received over 70,000 African American diasporans from Canada, from America, from Jamaica, diasporans, African. These are people who, after getting all their paperwork done, first thing is you open an account in Burkina Faso. The money that you've been keeping in America, in Canada, in Jamaica, should come to Burkina Faso. On your account, it is your money. Then you spend it in Burkina Faso by doing economics. You do business.
Beautiful.
You get it. You see the difference, Professor? That they are not simply allowing every Tom, Dick and Harry. There is a process. But also they are looking at what value are you coming to add on our land. Then through that, you are able to sieve. Here is America signing an agreement on behalf of a madman. Please go to Uganda. Let us manage your madness from Uganda. You're not signing with the madman, you're signing with America. America, who rejected him, or who is now ejecting him after staying there for 20 years, now they're saying we don't want you here because there is no value addition. America is not exporting Africans who are adding value in America, like Elon Musk and so on. No, they are targeting particular people whom they have destroyed with their cocaine and everything, madness, raping women and so on. Now those are the people they are getting rid of. Go back to Africa. And where do you go back if you don't have a home? Let us talk to Uganda. Let them allow you. Tomorrow, the level of criminality in Uganda is going to go extremely high, courtesy of these people. Because some of these people who are coming here, you might simply look at them as human beings, but these are highly trained criminals. And tomorrow they're even able to take over a government. Where in Luzira? So, I don't know how you look at it, Comrade Uganda.
Yeah, well, first of all, Comrade Speaker, what is coming to us is not something new that we should really beat our heads against the wall. What is this new phenomenon? No. United States of America, for a very long time, has been doing what it is doing right now. Only that it has not been coming to the fore for us to debate it the way we are debating it. We know for a fact that the entire Guantanamo Bay is a territory of Cuba that is confused to have been sold by the Spaniards, sold to America. And what do they do at Guantanamo Bay? They go hijack whoever they think they don't like, they suspect to be the imperialistic interests of America, and they dump him at Guantanamo Bay. From there, they carry out all manner of inhuman, dehumanizing atrocities against those individuals, and they are there in hundreds, if not thousands, from all over the world. Now, so America itself, I've said this elsewhere, and I repeat it here, is a country that is built on blood, because we know that they came from all the world. They came from Italy, the grandparents of Madonna. They came from Germany, the grandparents of Trump and Poland. They came from UK, the rejects, the grandparents of Bush. And they came from Africa, and those who came from Africa, certainly we know how they went there. Those ones can be excused because it was against their will. But those who came from mainly Europe were the mainly descendants of rebellious characters. The grandparents of Donald Trump are were rebellious characters, and therefore Trump is a descendant of rebellious people. So much so that when you see him do what he's doing now, then you can see that old habits die hard. Because indeed, it has got a trail of history, and a bad one at that. So, in the so-called bringing the wrongdoers and throwing them around is first of all a sign of arrogance. Two, it also manifests and indicates that us in our respective countries, Uganda inclusive, we are really not that independent, because some of, like our legislature, I have not had the parliament. It is just about 3 days ago, if I'm not mistaken, that Nsereko, who is no longer the MP, but the former MP of Kampala, where until they swear in, is still the MP of Kampala, brought in this issue of the MOU, and it was admitted by our Attorney General, Chilio Wachuanka, that Uganda signed with America to access the medical information of our people. Now we don't know what they want to do with it, but they want it, and Uganda signed, even without consulting anybody. In other words, if you go to a hospital and you have got your medical reports with the Morago, you know that they are going they are going to share that information without your consent, because your Attorney General has already signed. So it shows you across the board on the African continent that some of these bogus agreements and contracts we go into our respective governments, those we gave our mandate to decide certain things for us, the kind of contracts they sign, they are not in our best interests. And that tells you that our independence is still lacking. We are not independent. But most importantly also, it goes a long way to show you that our ideological clarity is also problematic. Because we cannot, you cannot, for instance, go to Burkina Faso and do such a thing. You cannot go to Cuba and do such a thing. You cannot, and I want to use Cuba and as an example, because it is long tested. Our brother here in Burkina Faso has just reincarnated Amilcar Cabral, and we wish him very well. Thomas Sankara, we just need to copy and spread this gospel across the African continent. But Cuba shows you that even when I'm under total economic embargo, I still can have very impressive figures in the medical. The ratio between a doctor and patients can be very beautiful. I can have life expectancy even better than that of America. I can have the clarity of mind and independence of mind and able to provide for the future. And all these indicators are with Cuba, even when the United States of America has closed in on them for well over 64 years. So for me, really, at the end of the day, in concluding on this, at the end of the day, when you see some of these contracts being signed, including the ones of bringing the so-called reject, because the majority of the people, especially in administration, who are living in America, they themselves are supposed to be elsewhere. They are supposed to be rejected and not put on anywhere on planet Earth. When you look at the Bill Gates of this world, the viruses which they generate and spread to the rest of the world, when you look at these fake vaccines which they spread to the rest of the country, when you look at these formula foods which they spread and kill the children, when you look at all manner of inhuman activities, the GMOs, when you look at the wars they export in the rest of the world and how they kill people en masse, when you look at how they create international mafia gangs and then they terrorize the entire world, America is the offspring of all manner of bad manners. That if they wanted to eject people out for not being fit to live in America, then the entire America should eject, if to use my words conservatively, they should eject them, especially the ones in leadership across the board. They should first eject themselves out and not to go elsewhere on planet Earth, probably to find some space on the moon and live there, because they have consistently showed that they are not part of the human race.
Thank you so much, Comrade Daniel Garama. Let's move to Professor Alenyo. Your 2 cents, Professor Desai.
I think as a Pan-Africanist, I see no problem with Africans being received here. I'm getting to 60 years this year. And I remember when I was in primary school.
60 years.
Yeah, this year.
You're making 60 years.
Yes, in November.
You're this
So-
young.
So I have a history.
So you are also born of November?
Yeah, November 66.
No, you mean the date, which date?
21st November.
Hey, I am 15th November.
All right, 66.
So that's why me and you have a lot in common.
So now-
this one we don't know where he was born before the month.
So now, I was in 1970s. I was in P7, and I was studying in Nagurukatari Primary School, and we were living in Nagurukatari down there. And then there was a function at Lugogo Indoor Stadium, which Amin was attending. And at that function, Amin introduced 4 black Americans. I still remember the way they were dressed. 3-piece suits, very smart gentlemen. The 4 who had come to negotiate for Americans, black Americans, who want to get Ugandan citizenship. Yes. So that's the thing Traore has done. So it's a welcome idea if Africans from the diaspora could join us. And that is Pan-Africanism. My problem is the sellout of African governments to this government of Donald Trump. You see, how does an African leader begin to sign an agreement with Donald Trump that I'm sending to you immigrants? And look at the number. Just 20. 8 first, now 12. 20. Last time they sent some to South Sudan, 8. Now these numbers tell you the political message. Trump won his elections saying that he's going to send away immigrants. So he just wants to increase the number of countries. I sent 20 to Uganda, I sent all over, I sent them out. By the end of the elections, he will have sent 1,000, just 1,000 Africans out. But he will want to win the next elections that he sent out immigrants. And the immigrants are in millions.
Is eligible for standing from?
Yeah, he is, even if he doesn't, but the what? The Republican, because they can also amend what America is now going to do everything you have seen in Africa, including amending the constitution by the
Allow him to stand for the
yeah, yes, everything is going to happen. Anything can happen now under Trump. So, I think, much as it is Pan-African to accept these black people into our continent, let us not give leverage to crazy Trump policies that an African country can accept these people. Let him throw these people in the oceans if he wants. Let's not allow our sovereignty to be used for his politics. We will not sign that agreement. But he knows the weaknesses of African leaders. That agreement has got something attached. Please accept these 8 people. We shall give you some dollars for you to look after them. Ask yourself, where are they now? Where are those people who came from?
There must be in some posh hotels around.
Some posh hotels belonging to the leaders of African countries.
And the money is coming from
Is
America.
coming. They will not tell you that they came for free. No, they came with some money. They are
The
now
government is going to look after them.
exactly. Ask Chirowa, where is the money? That money is going to be swallowed by the people on these hotels.
Not even just the money. My interest in the bill, these people came, what are their names? The
Yes.
names should be published.
Yes.
2, their ages and also the crimes they committed. Then where are they now?
Exactly.
And for how long
Professor,
will
now I
they
want
be
to-
here?
You are going to find those people tomorrow integrated in society and
Yes,
you don't know.
that's the problem.
And let me tell you that.
As you come. Have you seen the man who slaughtered 4 children in Gabon?
Yes.
The
Do
one
you know his history? He was in America. He came from
Yes.
America.
Those are the people.
Hey.
Hey!
Yes.
Not to know
It was
that.
in
He
America.
was in America.
Yes.
Hey.
It was in America for 20 years.
That man who slaughtered the
No
children.
wonder.
Yes, he was in America
That
for
is
20
the
years.
man.
He had to be an American.
Now,
somehow.
now, Professor, those are the kinds of people that are brought
There
in.
is a point.
Now imagine you having 50
Of
such
them.
kind of-
Exactly. So you have a point, comrade. When you said, can we have their names
Yes.
By the way, some are Ugandans.
And where are they?
No,
And
they are saying they are not
Wait,
Ugandans.
some are Ugandans who are being deported. These 8 are the non-Ugandans who are deported as Africans. But I'm telling you that America is deporting even Ugandans who have been there 30, 20 years. Now, those names are not declared. Maybe the man from Gaba was deported recently because the parents said they were also surprised to see him in Uganda. You read that part? No. Read on social media, it's there. And there are so many. Now, comrade, you say one thing.
He's saying something.
Yes.
America could even have started deporting people before they announced officially.
They did that.
And they are around such a company who slaughtered
Ugandans here went to Iraq war before the government officially knew that they were in Iraq. Right now, Kenyans and Ugandans are in Ukraine war instead of Russia. And Uganda just learned of, even Kenya learned about it recently.
But Right Honorable Speaker, do you know why they don't want to announce? Do you remember the story you ran about the person who was trafficked out of this country by high-ranking government officials? You remember?
by the MP.
Yes. So most of these people were trafficked by government officials at the beginning. They now are alerted that when you begin to disclose names, those people will also begin to speak up. This is how I end. But I come to the point. Let us have our African diaspora return. But when they return, let them be subjected to the laws of refugees. There is a refugee camp in Changwali. There is a refugee camp in Boyale. Take them there. And when they go there, they dig. They integrate into society. All those refugees you have seen when you take the Christmas goodies, they are working. They are digging, they are maintaining their families. Have you not seen them? So these African brothers are welcome.
In fact, they are not called refugee camps, they are called refugee settlements. Why? They give you a certain radius of land, piece of land.
They
They settle you and they give some land to dig.
You dig. So
for your family.
Let these 20.
So you are no longer in a camp,
Yes.
in a settlement.
Let these 20 people be taken to Changwali, Moyale,
Iriandongo,
Bidibidi. Let them integrate in African societies and farm. But let this exercise not be an exercise to give Trump breath. I want to comment on that memorandum of our health records. You see, you know that Bill Gates, they are in the business of sending vaccines that kill.
Hey,
That
vaccines that kill, not vaccines that heal.
and vaccines that harm our children over time. So they want to know the effect of the medicine. You see, Uganda signed the malaria vaccines, whatever, so many years. Maybe they now want to monitor. Are their women still producing? What is
If
the
you want
effect
to
of
kill
their
them, what
children?
do I add?
Otherwise, what do they want with our health records? You remember what Malcolm X was talking about? The syphilis inventions. You see, so now they have made the entire nation a
We were
nation
talking
of
about
guinea
syphilis.
pigs.
What about here in South Africa, the women?
Yes. So
What happened?
Oh, the white apartheid regime injected the black women with birth control.
Yes.
They sterilized. The women were unable because
Exactly.
the blacks were more and more.
They are unable to produce.
That is
Yes.
the reason as why America gave blankets which were infested with chickenpox, and then they gave them injections for syphilis as well, because they wanted to check the rate of
Yes.
producing.
So it is a shame. It is a shame that the government of Uganda was not alert when Kiowa was signing such a memorandum.
No, government was allowed, but government is curious to come in the area.
Yeah, I know
They
that.
are allowed. Only that, there are other
Negative
interests. Mainly African problem is that we are taken by money.
You see,
You see, such a contract cannot be said without some
Without
money.
some dollars assigned.
You get it?
Yes, they can.
So they are
So
waiting
we
money.
actually what you want cause children be safe in an environment of this nature.
They will not be. But does he care about his children? These are people who care that I have a house in Uganda, I am living well, I've become Attorney General of Uganda, but they don't care about the next generation. Why are our health records being demanded?
We should be able to bring such characters and put them on City Square to explain to us how do you give our health data to foreigners for what purpose?
That thing should be.
And you say I signed, and after signing, I had to realize that it was in consonance with the laws of Uganda. You signed with whose permission? Whom did you
I think we should
consult? How
find
come
it.
Parliament? How come Parliament is asking?
You see,
Whom did you consult exactly?
with due respect, I believe that, you see, President Museveni has done his part, and is a layman. I don't want to blame him for many of the things going on in Uganda. Most of the things in a country, the rule of law, it is the Attorney General. I worked as personal assistant to the Attorney General. And I can assure you, the most powerful office in the land is the office of the Attorney General. But if you look at the blunders that the Attorney General has led this country to, you can't imagine. And they're all contrary to the standing of the president. President Museveni is a Pan-Africanist. I don't think he's aware that his Attorney General has signed away all health rights of Ugandans under his government. I don't think he
Can he say such a sensitive
We
matter?
He
Without-
can, because Museveni is a layman.
This is what happens. Eh?
Yes.
If
I
they
don't
know,
think
wait,
I can assure
wait a minute. This is my input. The president may know, but he will get to know to the extent that he has been advised by the Minister of Health, who is a doctor, and the Attorney General.
Exactly.
In as far as the legal implications and also the health implications
Yes.
from those two institutions. Therefore, he's getting to know and probably blessing is informed by the information and advice
Ill information.
given to him by those two officers.
And that's why, Right Honorable Speaker, I told you the other time that we owe it as a duty, as Pan-Africans, to make a Pan-African stand on most of these issues and present to the president. We can't blame him. He doesn't know. He's a layman. That's what we lawyers refer to as layman. He doesn't know the law. So the blame on anything law, it is on Kiriyo Chiwanga. I give you the example of the cultural institutions. Cultural institution of the, which you rightly say, like when you look at the cultural institutions in Kasese, they are over across the border. The Basongora, across the border. The cultural institution of the Mamasa, across the border. And the president said the Bamasaba Cultural Institution is a major social fabric of the East African Federation because the Bamasaba are across both borders.
Kenya.
Actually, in 1970, the Mumasaba who saved his life, called Wamalwa, is a Kenyan Mumasaba. What does the Attorney General say? The Attorney General gives an opinion that the kingdom cannot operate in two countries. That
The king of Busongora,
yes,
the biggest following of Wapons are not in Uganda.
Yes.
so what is that?
Look
Attorney
at
General.
Uganda Kingdom. Haven't you seen the Kabaka or his cathedral going to London and America?
And the diaspora.
Yes,
Diaspora.
the constituents there.
And
Big
then,
one.
yes, is there, we have a
Now you see-
chambers.
Toro Kingdom, although they cut Kasese from the Toro Kingdom, but they have a Toro in Kasese,
Yes, many.
Yes.
and because of a Toro, pay allegiance to their king in Fort Poto.
In Toro, you can't change them. You can't change
The
them.
Baganda in Fort Poto Toro, pay allegiance to their king in Uganda.
The Baganda in
When you
Canada.
find them in Fort Poto, and there is something that can happen, they say, you simply have to for Uganda. But it's in Fort Poto.
Yes.
But he's saying that is not
That's
us
how we
Uganda.
do things.
When you find a Muchika here in Uganda, and something happens, maybe betrayal or something, you say, that is not Machika, that is not
That is not us. And,
But he's where?
right now,
He's here.
That's why we're having problems as Pan-Africanists. The words from our president are being countered by the people within the system. You see? Because is it a Pan-African president surrendering the rights of the health rights of Ugandans in this era? How do the presidents, like Traore, the Malian president, how do they look at this elder president? It's not Museveni's fault. It's the rule of law which makes the Attorney General recommend things. Let me tell you what happens in Attorney General's chambers. It's a very powerful institution.
You were there for how long, by the way?
I was there for 6 years.
6 years?
Yeah.
It's a lot of
Long
time.
time.
Yeah,
And I rose up the senior level. Now, you see what happens? That's why we must be careful when we blame the president. In most cases, he's innocent. A letter is written to the Attorney General. Can you guide us? What are the legal implications here? What is the law? The Attorney General then makes a legal opinion. Hey, it is right to surrender our health rights to Americans. Then the Minister of Health will sign.
Yes, it's okay.
It is okay.
Then the president will, then they bring it to parliament, the parliament says, yes, it's okay. Then the
Who is the
president
person they ask to stand up to defend? Attorney General.
Attorney General.
Is it the president? Who is the leader of government business?
Prime Minister.
Maybe he doesn't even know that the
I am the
language.
Minister of Health.
Maybe he doesn't even know the language.
The Minister of Health stands in the parliament and he says,
Even remember the president telling you that I had not understood this thing of homosexuals.
Aha.
Then I sent it to the experts.
Yes.
I said, I want your opinion. Is it by nature
That,
that a man can go with another man
Yeah.
or a woman with another woman and it is okay?
See?
It's natural. Then all the experts, he sent the seeking opinion, they gave their replies back and they said that is a land behavior, it has never been natural, it will never be natural. And he took a decision. So therefore, when we say that the president sometimes can be misadvised, then I think that one is also true. Although there may be incidences where probably the president can take a decision disregarding the opinions
Even
that
now,
he has
on
been
the
given.
issue
It is
of
possible.
Anti-Homosexuality Act, you see, what happened? You remember how Right Honorable Speaker went head-on with the Attorney General. The Attorney General was of the opinion that the Homosexuality Act should not pass.
that's no problem.
It has not let the things regulated enough by penal code should not pass. The Attorney General Kirio Wachimanuka was against the act. The Deputy Attorney General Rwakafuzi was against passing the Homosexuality Act. You see how these people can waver. So President Museveni is okay on Pan-Africanism. The problem is whether the Attorney General's chamber, which is the engine of government in the rule of law, whether they understand Pan-Africanism. If our health rights have been surrendered to America, Attorney General's chamber. I hope we're going to discuss the sovereignty bill. You're going to see.
You're already discussing it. You have strayed there already.
We have already discussed, actually we are running a sort of out of time.
And just have a word.
The word or two.
Yes, let's begin with you.
On the
Sovereignty bill.
sovereignty bill, Right Honorable Speaker, I had thought that it was going to be our main topic, but a word is enough for a wise man. I tell you, as Pan-Africans, we should be very careful. What is sovereignty? What is sovereignty? Is it nationalism? Is it patriotism? What is sovereignty? Pan-Africanism goes beyond sovereignty. We don't want the situation that happened in Ghana to happen here. You remember when Osajefo, Kwame Nkrumah, was overthrown? He was overthrown by Ghanaian army officers who were afraid of the Pan-African for the Pan-African, who are afraid of the Pan-African ideals. What happened? When Nkrumah was the president of Ghana, he had allowed very many non-Africans to live freely in Ghana. They were Nigerians. Any African was free to live so freely in Ghana that it became an issue within Ghana. So when Nkrumah was overthrown, persecution started against all other non-Ghanaians. Yet people had gone and assembled in Ghana as the Pan-African light. Persecution fell on Nigerians, they were chased away, Ivorians were chased away. The government dismantled the Pan-Africanism that Nkrumah had established. So I want to beg President Museveni as a Pan-African father, look at that Pan-African sovereignty law very well. The imperialists will use it to destroy whatever we have made. Now,
Finally.
Pan-Africanism is based on the diaspora. You know that very well. We have the Jamaicans, expounding this problem of Pan-Africanism. World Pan-Africanism. It emphasizes diaspora. But now in this national sovereignty bill, they say every Ugandan in the diaspora is a non-Ugandan. It wants to cut us
Your
from...
sovereignty is being taken away.
Yes. So you are cutting off your nation from the people in the diaspora.
When we are actually
Encouraging.
these brothers and sisters, so
Yes.
of course we consider the diaspora to be our other arm.
Our other arm.
When we are defining
The Cabals,
Pan-Africanism,
the
we are
Jamaicans.
looking at all those who are like us, regardless
here.
of geography.
So you can see the 70,000 that the Burkina Faso president has allowed. Then secondly, I want to discourage this matter of making this sovereignty bill by looking at the nature of what is going on now. Because it is being made so that the Americans do not support Bobi Wine's initiative for sanctions.
Actually, I saw Odongo too in one of his commentaries say the only thing they missed in this
Sovereignty bill.
the only thing they missed out was put the name Bobi Wine.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything else is targeting
But
Bobi Wine.
as Pan-Africans, you remember during the Balado issue, I supported the creation of a Pan-African legal regime to allow anybody, any African,
Stay anywhere.
to stay anywhere. And you know that when they started the evictions, it came to our point. They reached Arua, West Nile, and they found that there were Central African people, the Mororo people. They were crazy. They found that there were Hema from DR Congo. They were crazy. So I want this bill to get a full debate on it. As Pan-Africans, we reject it. We have patriotism of where you are, and Pan-Africanism, there is no need for sovereignty. And I want, but Pan-Africanism is so interesting. I said the other time that let us go back by the ancient empires. There was the empire of the Kemet ruling from Cairo up the source of the Nile in Burundi.
Wasn't that leadership?
That was leadership.
Wasn't that development?
We had the Chwezi Empire. We had the Chwezi Empire.
I think Professor has really made his point very clear. I think this is what it is. One, Uganda is taking on bad manners. Bad manners
Yes.
when it comes to legislation. We are increasingly getting into an arena where we legislate against individuals. Where we legislate
You bring a lot
against,
against
yes, against
an individual.
groups of people. Where we legislate because we want to protect certain political interests. Now, such laws are not good laws. We have
Before you come, I hosted here Joseph Otieno, the spokesperson of Milton.
Yes.
He told me.
He says he's the president.
Yes, he's actually supposed. He's the legal president by law. He told me that the age limit, in the constitution of Uganda was brought in 1994 to block out Milton Obote, that he targeted Obote Because at that time the leader was young, but Obote was old. So one of the things, one of the restrictions they considered that would keep him away was to put him SUV.
But let me give you
So
some
when-
example. Let me give you a very strong example. I'll make this point, then I'll be good. History is very good. I always remind you of my age. I'm getting an old man in this country. I want to give you the nature. You see, this law is targeting our own children, African diaspora. Are you aware that there's a Muchiga who is a NASA engineer? Is an American citizen. The last trip the Americans sent to NASA.
Is Abajo, is from, is not a Mchiga, is from this tea growing area. Kushenyi.
Igara. That man is a
Chambu.
Chambu.
Yes, I know him, he's actually a relative of my wife.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Now,
Now your relative is being
congratulations
away in this day.
for your relative.
His father just died not long ago.
Aha.
And
Now,
he was here
that-
for burial, but he's
Right.
heavily escorted.
What did you say?
Heavily escorted.
Yes.
They
Now-
don't want him to talk to any person. After the burial, he went back.
Now, this is what I like.
And a special plane.
Listen to the words you have said.
Yes.
And this is the words I've been telling people. These people, the MPs, they are going to pass a legislation, Sovereignty Bill in 2026, which will prevent their own sons from remitting even money for their burial. What do I mean? You see what he said? That man came, well guarded, with a lot of money. Okay? Now, if this law was in place, every dollar that about came with was going to be deemed foreign interest. Not allowed. Now I want to tell you this. 1960s, the exile community had a character. 1960s, the exile community had a character. They were Uganda. Mainly in Kenya and in the UK. Not that, in Kenya and the UK. Because the Obote had stormed the palace and exiled all royalists. 1970, the exile community were low. Based in Tanzania. You remember? They became back as Bakombozi. That's 1970. 1980, exile community were Lugbara, Kakwa, and Nubians. The Anites, they were born in South Sudan. They were the exile community. 1990, the exile community, they actually, after the fall of Oitito Kelo's government and Oshielo's government, the exile community were actually based where? UK. That's how they could even have Kachokema did where? In London. Remember that? Right, that Kachokema did. Now, in 2020, Kachokema did was being held where? In London. Kachokema did is the Luo word. Now, the biggest
Big meeting.
Now, the exile community is in Boston, Uganda. They hold their annual what? North America Convention in Uganda. Not so? They hold it in USA. Now, this law is being made to target where Chapulani is. Whatever money they raise to support no is being blocked by this what? By declaring them foreign. But I can assure you, my brother, what is the exile community going to be after 20 years now? What if?
Just what?
We will amend the constitution.
What
Is
if?
the constitution made out of
What
stone?
if the exile community is the one is different, and you no longer have you don't have the majority to amend the constitution? What will happen? They will use your very constitution.
You're very low.
Your very law will be used to block out your own children.
You remind me of a mama Baba Japan.
Japan on Koma.
Hey.
Nobody will amend the constitution, and nobody will amend this bad law. They will instead use it to block your own children, who will now be the one in exile. They will not even be allowed to send here $1,000 to bury you. Where is this money coming from? America.
Illegal. It's illegal.
It is illegal. That is foreign
You
interest.
can be jailed for 20 years.
You'll be jailed for 20 years.
Can you imagine?
That will be 20. Now you are targeting the Boston, Uganda exile community.
Who are with Bobi Wine?
Who are with Bobi Wine?
Tomorrow,
20 years, Bobi Wine is the majority. They will use that law to block your children from even stepping in Uganda. They say you are foreigners. You are under this act.
No, there are so many bad things about this law.
as we went back,
No,
Yes,
no,
there are so many bad things about this law. And since it is a proposal, we can just talk about it in this manner. One, I talked about a growing bad habits.
manner.
This is just bad manners. For when the UPDF Act was thrown out, and correctly so, although I fault the Supreme Court for not having been very decisive
Yes.
to guide them. Therefore, this is what you should do. They left it hanging, and my brothers and sisters in NRM ran the speed at which they were running to bring back the law, and the manner and the contents in the form in which they brought it was testament enough that it was modified. All they were doing was slap the face of the opposition that you thought you could win. Here we are, and we have brought it back. Now, we cannot legislate like that. Now, in the same spirit, when you look at this proposed law, which is a bill called sovereignty, let's just even begin with the name. Why characterize it as sovereignty bill? Are you saying that any other law that we have, including our constitution, does not go a long way to protect the sovereignty of the people? Why this one called sovereignty?
In other words, the constitution itself is not a sovereign law.
All these acts we have that have been enacted recent, the ones that have been improved, the ones that are, are they not purposing to achieve the sovereignty, protect the sovereignty of the people? So, to start with, the naming itself, the characterization of this proposed law itself speaks volumes that there is something these guys are targeting. Now, when you look at who they call a foreigner, who is a foreigner? Are we going to say everybody who goes for jail, for instance, is money? Because we already have enough laws that whether you are an NGO, for instance, if, for instance, the target was the NGO one, whether you are an NGO, the money which you bring in does not come in sacks. It comes through the banking channels.
Yes.
And the bank, there is enough checks and balances.
This money.
Yes.
Financial Authorities Act.
Not only that, even at the level of non-government organizations and all these other manner of things, including churches now, Pentecostal movements and what have you, which are categorized as non-government organizations. First of all, they make what we call yearly accountability through what we call these reports. Every year you file your report with it used to be internal affairs or foreign affairs, for internal affairs. But now it is with the NGO Bureau. Now NGO Bureau, in there you lay your plans. You say what you have been doing. You say the monies you have received. Now you have utilized the same monies. Now for you to say that the accountability is going to be robust through the sovereignty bill is a lie. All you are looking at is what, for instance, my professor here has taken some good minutes trying to explain to the audience that look, you are trying to, and this is a very small section by the way, if you knew the amount of support NRM has outside Uganda, including even in that, is it North America, whatever it is, for the population from Uganda, it is overwhelming.
Yes, even
our own intelligence system used to move there. Emmanuel Kata was used to go there, for instance. He's our colleague, and he would be giving me live feedback. The Africans or Ugandans who are in North America there and who support NRM are many, much more than the opposition, yes. Even in London. Now, if you want to register legislate against
As you went up.
them. What are you saying? For me, if there is any piece of legislation that should be rethought, if there was such a thing, a word in English, it is this sovereignty bill. This sovereignty bill purpose is to achieve no good. It is high time we stop these bad manners. We may end up legislating ourselves out of some of the most important decisions of this country.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
But there's a point. As you go, just one point.
30 seconds.
He has brought a very valid point. You know, the real legislation we need is a Pan-African. We need a Pan-Africanism view. If we are to be honest, because the Constitution covers up national level very, very early. Our challenge now is how do we federate, how do we bring on board other African states? That is the gap we need. Perhaps we need a Pan-African legislation.
Get reminded that we have got so many companies which are not Ugandan and they end up taking a lot of money, even including on planes, by the way. They get this money, doesn't go through the banking system, and they fly it outside this country.
Yes.
We have got situations whereby we have got foreigners who come here in Uganda and they buy land, even when we have got a law, they have buy land 100% and they hold it in perpetuity. Have we really minded to strengthen the existing laws before we start introducing this so-called sovereignty law? When in actually this sovereignty law, a mere perusal at it, give a glance, what we call a glance, gives you an indication that it is irrelevant, irritation with the aim of targeting certain groups and individuals, and that can never be a good law, because
Yes.
a good law should look
As
at
lawyers.
what are you trying to cure?
As
What
lawyers.
is that in society that you are trying to cure?
Yes, as lawyers, there is one thing, I don't know the speaker. You know, this our Pan-African pyramid is the center of debate in this country. Let's make this final. As you said, you know, when you are legislating in law, legislate on how that law can be used by a good government.
Not
Then,
made by the government.
by a good government first. Then also remember how this law can be used by a bad government.
You put that into perspective.
Put it in perspective. If you're a good government and you're passing a law, remember that you will use it well. But also remember that there could be a bad government
That comes after you.
that comes after
They will
you that
use
could misuse the law. So
You
when
put
you are
legislation.
legislating, yes, that's why he says sometimes there are certain legislation that you should abandon. Just ignore it because it can be misused. I give you an example because we are very practical people. 1980, and he brought a very valid point that I want to go back to. He said NRM support in the diaspora is very high and very strong in South Africa, in London itself, and in America. Now, you want to legislate on a very small Boston diaspora. That's what you are fearing. And you are legislating because of one man. 1980, President Obote got NASA report. What did the report say? The report said a guerrilla war has been launched against you by the Uganda Patriotic Movement. 27 people have left for the bush. 3/4 of the 27 are Rwandese origin.
3/4.
Yes, and even when you check the list of the 27 who went to the bush, 3/4 are of Rwandese origin. Then, Obote should have known that I cannot pursue this small minority. Like if somebody is advising the president, let's make a law to pursue the small vote, the small supporters of Nobi Boston, yet NRM is great. Now this is what Obote failed to do in 1980. He failed to follow advice. He decided to pursue
The smoke.
this small group of Rwandese. Waka Sisi, Chris Waka Sisi, who was the Minister of Security, tells the president, now let us pursue the Rwandese. Let us evict them from the refugee camps in which they are.
That is the
Nachivari and
Nachivari.
Yes, and they ordered, there was a meeting of Marana District Council and Bushenyi District Council,
in the Rukurato, of they ordered that every Rwandese should leave Ankolera. But did they leave? No. That is the very day they decided to say that, but Obote should have left us. We're not concerned with the 27 away. We're innocent refugees here. Okay, if he wants to chase us away, where's the direction towards the way? They went to the bush. And Citizens-Alenyo himself testified in one interview, saying, the day Obote chased away the Rwandese is the day the NRA got the highest number of recruits coming to their camp. So this person
So there was a
leading.
statement to that effect. You have made me remember this. It's what
Guys, we are supposed
it's what it's stating.
Yes,
When
please.
my uncle Chris Lokasise did that, he made face to face with one of the older guys of the Rwandese origin, who was in Mbarara, and he said, "Look, my son, for me, really, you still call me Mnyarwanda? You know how long I have been here?" And there was a reply from Uncle Chris. He said, "It doesn't matter. A dog which has produced its puppies in a crowd does not turn into a cow. So remains a puppy."
So you can see, that was a very small matter. They would have handled properly without bringing in both. So now this is a very small matter. The support of the in the diaspora is very small. It should not call for a whole bill. It is a bill which is going to endanger our children 20 years from now.
Thank you so much, my elder brother. We always short down by time. Actually, we short our time by 30 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yes.
But nevertheless, I thank you so much for always giving me an opportunity. It's always a pleasure, by the way, hosting you and drinking from your cup of knowledge. I have learned a lot hosting you two guys every time we meet. My name is Andy Rumba Katusabe, your speaker. This is the Pan-African Pyramid Round Table. The Pan-African Pyramid Global Awards, the 9th edition, will be held on 29th of August 2026 at Speaker's Road, Munyonyo. Mark that. So start organizing, start buying that African attire.
Free your mind now. Be part of the People's Pan-African Parliament. The Pan-African Pyramid Debate with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusabe.